Well, hello everyone. Happy New Year. Happy 2024. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jason Levine. Nice to see you back here on Adobe Live, realizing as I just ran that video that this is no longer a masterclass slot, and in fact, trying something new and kicking off the new year with a brand new series of things you're going to see, I think, on every day of the week, or certainly Monday through Thursday, Creative Kickoffs. And the idea behind this is really just to kind of start your morning. Everybody's just getting going, as John Lennon once famously said. You can't make music at 8 or 10 in the morning or whatever it is. I feel like regardless of what kind of work you do, same kind of vibe. Granted, it's already 10 o'clock for me, so I've been going for a while. But, if you're just starting and it's 9 or it's 8 or you're somewhere else in the world, it's super early, you need that little kickoff, that coffee kickoff. So that's what this is all about. And this morning we're going to be talking about some of the latest AI tools in Premiere and After Effects. But really, this is a conversation to really just see, what are you doing with AI? How has AI changed the way you're working? Or more importantly, are you leveraging it in some way in the last couple of months? We haven't been together since September, if you can believe that. And Adobe Max and so many things have happened since then. But has it changed the way that you're creating? Or more importantly, are you leveraging it in different ways, just in general, whether it's in Photoshop, whether it's with Firefly directly? I'm really curious to know sort of what you're doing, what you're using. And of course, there have been tons of new visitors to the AI landscape, particularly in video in the last couple of months. So, this is a really exciting time, and so very happy to be back with you. So I'm going to just go to the chat here and see who we've got joining us today. What's happening, Jess? What's happening, Anthony? Via Tim, how's it going? Happy New Year. Valdair, nice to see you. Reverb Mike, I'm only happy about the new year after a few shots of tequila. CJ, nice beard. Thank you. Yes, I'm still in my post-holiday vibe. Jess is saying that beard sure is thickened since I caught you live. Yes, it's hanging on. My family kind of dug it, and I just don't feel like shaving. So we'll see. We'll see how long it lasts. Got some pro, some con. Some people are very honest about their dislike of it, by the way. Kevin, how's it going? Hugh, what's up? Frank, Jan Tiller, nice to see you. PJ Gaudier, very nice to see you as well. How's it going? All right, everyone. So let's, again, we're here for the next 25 minutes or so. And I kind of want to just get into a few things real quickly. Oh, I see we've got Rufus is joining us as well. What's up, Ruf? Nice to see you as well. And Gala Gautier, how's it going? Okay, so I wanted to sort of go into a little bit of Premiere, a little bit of After Effects, not to demo for you. So that's not what this Creative Kickoff is going to be. You can watch that all week long. I don't need to be demoing for you at 9 a.m. It's more about how is this affecting and what is it changing in the way that you're working. All right, now in the last couple of months, we've introduced Enhance Audio in Premiere Pro. That's probably one of the biggest AI flavored additions that's come to Premiere in the last year. Enhance Audio because it is also podcast, Adobe Podcast. And we've shown that here on the stream, podcast.adobe.com. If you haven't checked it out, it's a free resource that really works magic on voice recordings, primarily for video. I've seen some people asking a lot like, well, how would it do for vocals? And, with so much AI in the news, if you haven't been aware of, we haven't talked since the Beatles' Now and Then came out. What major milestone in the world of AI? This is not specifically for that. Okay, so this isn't going to separate out your, John Lennon's voice from a crummy upright piano recording made on a microcassette. However, it can take isolated voices that were recorded poorly or just sound really terrible and ultimately make them sound that much better. And now you can do this inside of the Premiere Pro beta. So I just wanted to kind of showcase that to you real quickly. Ellie Louise, the robots control my brain. Nice to see you. So let's just take a quick look at that, and then we'll bounce over to After Effects, and then we're going to kind of keep the train rolling. But I just wanted to kind of showcase this if you haven't seen it already. Reemphasize again, this is in the Premiere Pro beta. So bear with me one sec as I switch my screens about. Oh, and I'm just going to make a quick adjustment here. It's so funny. I rewired so many things in the studio over the last couple of months. Oh, and you get to see me in the pool. Sure, why not? First shot of the day. But that's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about is enhance audio. And what you're going to find is that now in the Essential Sound panel in the Premiere Pro Beta, which I want to emphasize again, if you don't have the Premiere Pro Beta, if you're a Creative Cloud member already, of course, you can just go to the Creative Cloud desktop app. You can download the Premiere Pro Beta. This can run simultaneously side by side with the release version of Premiere. First question, of course, is when is Enhanced Speech coming to the regular release version? Soon. We're still tweaking. Here's the amazing thing about this, though, and partly why this may be taking a little bit longer, is that this is running on device. So unlike podcast.adobe.com today, which is, of course, processing in the cloud, Enhanced Speech in Premiere Beta is running natively on device. So you don't need cloud connectivity to send your files up there to return the data. It's all happening on device here, and it happens, fairly expeditiously, fairly quickly. And much like the spirit of Essential Sound, it's basically a mix slider. So it's sort of at this point, how much of the enhancement do you want? Now, in the process of doing that, of course, it's analyzing that original voice. It's looking at specifically noise. So background noise, noises in the background, and it's really good with removing hums and hisses and buzzes and environmental reflection and ambience if you're trying to clean things up and just make it a little more studio sounding. So this is really worth checking out, just to kind of show you very quickly how this all works. Let me play a couple seconds of this.
Okay, so this is a test to see how well Enhance does with extreme background noise.
All right. So let's go ahead and turn on Enhance here. Let it do its thing. Now, I think I actually already enhanced this, so it may not have, I've done it all beforehand, so it doesn't have to recache it. This is going to take a few seconds to do normally. So, and you'll see it, currently I have this at about, let's say 88%. I'll never quite understand our, why is this like 1 to 10 as opposed to just a percentage? I don't know. I should probably argue that with the team, but whatever works. Let's take a quick listen.
Okay, so this is a test to see how well Enhance does.
And you can hear there's still a little bit of that, of the waterfall behind me. Now, if I back it off, here's the amazing thing about this, though. It doesn't have to re-analyze and re-enhance.
With extreme background noise, keeping in mind that I'm trying to talk right into the camera.
You can, in fact, drag the slider much like you can with Dynamics and other sliders in Essential Sound and affect the enhancement in real time, whatever sort of works for you. So, dialing in and finding the right amount is key. Now, I'm using an extreme example here, obviously.
But we've got a waterfall behind us, and it's super noisy.
Now, one of the things that I like to point out about this, as you may have just heard, is for non-vocal sounds, this can be weird. You can get some weird results at times. You can get some kind of gurgly, sort of weird, alien sighting in Miami sort of sounds. But play around with the slider. See what it can do. This is obviously an extreme example. And to be honest, when I found the sweet spot for me with this example was about 4, 5, or 40, 50% of the mix amount. There's a little bit of the waterfall. That's fine. I'm in the water. It's moving. It feels weird if it's totally dry. And just case in point here. Now it may be slightly artifacted, but let's go back to the beginning here. I'm going to go back to my screen and just showcase this here.
Okay.
So you just, all right, again, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. Those opening sounds, which are just waterfall, that's horrifying. Okay. Will AI replace us? No, not with that.
Okay, so this is a test to see how well Enhance does with extreme background noise.
I mean, it's kind of amazing considering how intense.
Keeping in mind that I'm trying to talk right into the camera.
All right, and if we go to like 4.5%.
But we've got a waterfall behind us, and it's super noisy. Let's see.
So this may be 88.2%, whatever. You get the idea. So play around with this, check it out. I could tell you this too. When your examples are not as extreme, but you just have maybe a very thin sounding audio recording, you used a lav, it wasn't positioned properly, it's off axis, or maybe it's a matter of distance. We've talked about that a lot on stream here, using this AI technology to do something that was absolutely impossible and unimaginable before this concept of machine learning models, of removing the space, removing the distance. This enhanced audio, it's shockingly amazing at what it can do. And we're still working on it. It's still in beta. So you may find times that the results change. You can still check out podcast.adobe.com. Sometimes those results sound a little bit differently. We're doing some things a little bit differently on device versus in the cloud. All that to say, check it out. How does it compare? I've talked about this before, to something like Resolve's voice ISO or just the traditional noise reduction algorithms. I mean, it's a totally different sort of output. The artifacting is also different. Again, with something that's just noisy, not like constant gurgling water, you have different types of artifacts, but they're not going to be the same types of artifacts potentially that you may have with something like a denoise algorithm. In general, actually, they're quite sonically, they're not an issue. I mean, especially in the context of if you've got underscore or background music or other things going, you're just trying to clean up this voice. It can do a shockingly amazing job. And if you go back and you watch the Max keynote, where my colleague Dacia showed this off, it's super impressive. So check it out. Is it going to solve every problem? No. Is it the be-all, end-all of all things? Maybe, no. Will it replace us? Well, there was nothing that was doing this before. You had plugins to do noise reduction, so not replacing anybody. It's just getting you there a little bit faster. So this is the kind of AI that I really love, which is, again, the enhancement. Case in point, Now and Then, John Lennon, crummy recording. I have those original from years ago on vinyl and CD. And, it's like this very loud piano. It's very distorted. Now, what Peter Jackson's able to do is isolate the different sounds, but then clean them up and make them bigger and obviously not just a little thin sounding mini cassette, 1/8 millimeter microphone version, but somehow make it sound like it's on a Neumann microphone. This is doing, again, some of that based on that machine learning model, where it's trying to take the sound and then replicate what that would sound like on a studio mic in a sound treated room, which is why you get kind of that very broadcasty sound. So a lot of people ask, how do I take this and make it a little less, not so much less AI, but less perfect? The mix amount helps with that, but also sometimes just putting it back into an environment, adding a little something like studio reverb and just adding back a little ambience. Just, again, so it's not quite so dry, quite so clean. It can be, in upwards of 100, 150 milliseconds, just buried beneath, just so there's a little bit of ambience, a little bit of space and reflection, and that can make a huge difference. All right, let's go to the chats here. Sean, what's happening? Paul Weaver, hey, nice to see you, long time. Marsha, all right. Robert, how's it going? Mohammed, got a nice audience here. Okay, hold on, I'm checking over on the additional ones. Bruce Arfsten from Dallas, nice to see you. Cherise Addison, hey, nice to see you. Yes, it's been a long time. Okay. I got some bots on this other one here, right? We won't say hi to the bots, although I don't discriminate, but Okay, so let's cut across real quickly to After Effects. By the way, I see Paul Weaver saying, hey, it's snowing in the UK for real, not AI generated. As you know, I'm in the desert and woke up this morning, went to the gym in my usual 5 a.m. time frame, and it was literally freezing. It was actually sub-freezing. It was 31 degrees, frost on the cacti outside, frost on the ground, frost on the rooftops. I don't know that we're going to get any snow today. They are getting snow in Flagstaff, but it is very cold and very nice. This is actually my favorite time of year in the desert. So, yes, indeed. Okay. All right. So After Effects. Okay. So now this is talking about, again, AI sort of assisted workflows. And no one's talking about, I want to hear, tell me. No one said anything in our Behance chat either. Are you leveraging Firefly in video? Are you leveraging any other third-party things? You know, we can say them. You know what they are. Runway. Pika. Ours is coming soon. It's not out there yet. I'm sure you'll see something at some point for video. But what are you using? Are you just using GenFill and Photoshop? This is one of the things I find really fascinating because I can tell you, and I know Terry White has talked about this, and I mean, we've all talked about it, but GenFill, I mean, that's now on the daily. You know, any image, anything I'm processing now, largely just in lieu of content-aware fill. I'm using GenFill mostly just to remove things, and it just works better. You know, especially the remove tool for little blemishes and things. Not that I do so many image touch-ups, but I do here and there. It's wonderful for that, but also for, you know, changing the shirt you're wearing, changing the color of your pants, changing the background, doing all these kinds of things, expanding the background. We're not going to get into that today. I've shown that already on stream. But, you know, there's so many possibilities. So let me know, you know, what you're working on. Reverb Mike is saying content-aware fill is still mainly a smudge. Very, very fun. All right. Haven't missed a beat, dude. Haven't missed a beat. Haven't seen you in 4 or 5 months. It's great to be back. Okay. So Roto Brush. So for anyone who's used or is not familiar, the Roto Brush has been in After Effects for quite some time. We now have the, I think the official name of the newest one is the Enhanced Roto Brush, and specifically version 3. Not 1, not 2. Do you even have access? Oh, we do. Look, that I love that. I don't know why you'd ever want to go to Roto 1.0. Roto 2, yeah, it was good. Roto 3. So what's the major difference here? Well, again, it is AI driven. The main differences are going to be in speed and in propagation in terms of once you create your mask, how many corrections and things are required and how quickly does it propagate all the additional frames forward and backward so that you get the perfect cutout. And what you're going to find, and I believe the communicated stat, I'm not even sure if it's the communicated, it's faster. You know, I'm not even going to give you a percentage. It's faster. And if you used Roto Brush before, you're going to notice it's noticeably quicker, all right? So just real quick for those who've never worked with it before, again, the idea here being that in this case, we have this video of me and I want to cut myself out because maybe I'm going to replace the background or maybe I'm going to put myself into a widescreen environment. Now, I've done that by expanding this background as well, which is actually pretty cool. We did that on another stream. But just in general, to cut something out and isolate the foreground from the background, Roto makes it pretty simple. So here's our Roto Brush tool. Okay, you're going to double click into the layer to bring you into the layer comp over here. And then I'm simply going to, you know, make a stroke, I should say, of the areas that I want it to isolate. Okay, now I've got a little too much over here, so I'm just click Option. Let's erase that. And we want it to, you know, keep the cutouts of my arms there. Didn't quite get all of it there. All right, and this too. Did it get everything else? Oh, I didn't quite get my arm right there. All right. So this is, we haven't done a pass yet. I'm just telling it the areas that I want it to isolate. It already got the space between my legs at the bottom there. Don't need to zoom into that, but this will kind of give you a decent idea. Okay. And then I'm simply going to hit play. Now I think the audio is going to be coming through here. Here, I'm going to just disable the preview. All right. And I'm going to start propagating those frames. And again, if you used this before, you have a pretty good idea of how this works. Case in point, this is now propagating all those frames. So as I'm moving, it's analyzing my movement. Oh, and shoot, you know what? Did I cut out the space between my hands? I didn't mean, I wanted that to be present, actually. I don't want it to leave a hole there. That's fine, we can go back and fix that. But I just want to show you very quickly what we've done. So if I go into the alpha view here, nice job. All right, I missed that, okay? It's perfect, so I have a hole between my hands. But just very quickly, you know, even if you look at my hair, now by the way, this is with no additional, we haven't done any sort of, edge refinement or anything. I mean, it's a pretty decent roto. Even the edges where we made the selections between my arms. So again, it's a little bit faster. It's a little bit more accurate. As I mentioned, we would now come in here and we would fix this area because this is supposed to be included. So we want that. And then I could, again, I have the option here to, I can go backwards in time and have it repropagate and fix those frames, or have it go forwards in time and again, propagate from there moving forward. And it should learn the correction that I just made, which it did. So you can see now this is all part of the roto now, okay? So again, it's a little bit faster, it's a little bit more accurate. Ideally, you'll find yourself probably making fewer corrections over time. And this is just one more extension of leveraging AI for good to really just speed up the process of something that you're probably already doing and spending an enormous amount of time doing, no less. As I'm propagating and zooming, I'm finding the limitations of my machine here. But again, this is pretty awesome. And the fact that I can get a pretty decent roto. I mean, just look at the mask right here. It's looking pretty solid, even around my hair, which was not crazy wild, but the edges they're good. This is really good stuff, all right? So if you haven't checked out the new enhanced Roto brush, I highly recommend checking it out. Julie Zeller, Jason is like Weird Al Yankovic, but is teaching us all AI, and I am more likely to tune into Jason. Julie, you're very kind. Weird Al is I'm actually a pretty big fan. It's funny, I probably own 2 Weird Al albums, if I think about it in my collection. I own 2. But I love him, and I actually watched that Weird Al movie with Daniel Radcliffe. I'm forgetting what it was called. Was it just called Weird? That was a while ago now. Maybe it was a year or 2 ago. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a crazy, amazing dude. And his story is so strange and unique, and he's still got it, which I just love. So, okay, let's see. People are answering here. Joey Morelli, digging the beard, you do you. Thank you, Joey. Okay, Jess is saying, regarding AI, I've used it mostly for Illustrator and Photoshop, night and day compared to my workflow. David R. saying, Gen Fill in Photoshop and use ChatGPT to make AE expressions. Yeah, and this is something else too, and this is one of those sort of game-changing topics. I hate that phrase, but yes, leveraging ChatGPT to write expressions, to write code, but for expressions, or better, give ChatGPT the expression that you've written, but it's not working properly, and then let it fix it or tell you why. I've done this too, and I know by heart, by hand, by heart, by memory, I know about 5 expressions that I've just memorized over the years. And I was trying to do one the other day, not complex, but multi-line, let's say that. And I couldn't figure out why I was screwing it up. So I did the same thing, went to ChatGPT, and it fixed it for me. End of story. I mean, that's brilliant. It's wonderful. Now, of course, let's see. Now, what else have we got here? There's a couple more people. More Gen Fills. My 12 and 8-year-olds love the new Roto brush, says Jess. Oh, wow. Start them early. That's what you got to do. You got to start them early. Paul, how come you don't use the tag Beetlejace anymore, Jason? You mean just in general? It's funny. Beetlejace. So that, I've said on stream before, by the way, we've got 1 more minute. That was my original email address in 1988 on AOL, beetlejace@aol.com. And then it segued to Hotmail, and then Gmail, and then, Twitter V1 when I joined in 2006. And that used to be the thing, because I was sort of trying to be anonymous, but, let people know my Beatles self. I wish I'd used my real name back then. So that's why. I still love it. I am still Beetlejace, believe me, as my family will attest, because I forced them to sit through me watching Get Back again. I actually just finished it last night, part 3. So all 8 hours for the 7th time, the 7th showing in the Levine household. So they know me as Beetlejuice. But yeah, it's just kind of, it's dropped a bit. In any case, friends, that is all the time we have. So I want to thank you so much. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Reverb, Mike, Jan, Whitney, everyone who's joined. We've got more video today, so stick around. Until next time, we'll see you in 2 weeks for another Creative Kickoff. Have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye.